Imagine being asleep in your home, your safe place. You've had one of the best sleeps you've had in weeks. You wake up in the morning and find out that your car has been taken off the driveway, a car that's worth upwards of £40,000 brand new, for example a Jaguar F-Pace, and then you realise that your car keys have also been taken. This means a gang has entered your home, your personal space, and you had no idea. That's a violation. A 19-year-old young man once again risked his freedom and ensured that he will forever be a target by the police. 19-year-old Leo Joe was part of a gang that made major money by prowling the streets of Sheldon, Solihull, Tamworth, mostly parts of Birmingham, the nicer areas. Between February 10th to March 9th, Leo and his boys had forced their way into their victims' homes while they were either asleep or out, and then helped themselves to car keys and snacks. In a single night, Leo is alleged to have entered 5 homes and taken 5 sets of car keys to all 5 homes too, with a 100% success rate. Police say Leo had been arrested for similar offences previously. So, when the West Midlands Police found out that homes in Sheldon, Sparkhill, Solihull, Sutton Coldfirend and even Tamworth had high-value cars taken off their driveways, all from the side of the roads, outside their home address, and there was no sign of broken glass, police had a good idea that Leo Joe was back doing what he knew best. And through the investigation, police were able to trace the gang's first robbery to the date of February 10th, 2022, when Leo had attempted to force his way through a window of a home in Sparkhill. Now 6 days later, Leo had entered 5 homes and taken 5 sets of car keys. Leo Joe and his mates were then able to help themselves to cars such as Mercedes, Volkswagen Polos and a Jaguar F-Pace. Where some of the cars were recovered, albeit after being fitted with false plates, which were going to be used as getaway vehicles for other jobs, other vehicles had been sold on to other crime gangs in the city, and others had been broken down for parts and shipped out of the country in containers, heading for what was estimated to be Eastern Europe. Police officers who were part of Birmingham's high harm team were able to link Leo Joe to the crime due to the fact that Leo made a colossal mistake. What he did was, he was wearing distinctive clothing in a number of the robberies. It was like his work uniform for illegal activities. The 19-year-old GM had been arrested by police on February 21st. Now, no stranger to the law and the proceedings that take place when you're arrested, Leo was bailed and then allowed to leave. He was also banned from certain parts of Birmingham. However, Leo Joe was not deterred in the slightest, because he put on his gloves and mask and gathered up his toolkit, used to enter homes, and joined his Birmingham gang once more in order to help himself to more cars. However, his luck ran out again, because on April 11th of 2022, Leo Joe was caught behind the wheel of a stolen Mini Roadster, which was on false plates. When police tried to get Joe to pull over and stop the car, Leo Joe gripped the steering wheel tighter, pressed his foot on the acceleration pedal and then sped away, creating distance between himself and the patrol car. Now, police engaged in a pursuit in the Tamworth area after 2 cars had been stolen. Now, in an haste to get away, Leo Joe had driven along the wrong side of the road and even went through a red light, nearly causing a major collision. Police still engaged, and Leo then pulled up to a residential area, decamped the Mini that was left in the middle of the road, and as soon as Leo was out of the car, his legs moved as fast as they could carry him. Leo ran and ran and ran, making his way down an alleyway beside the house, and then he climbed over a garden fence before taking to hiding. However, Leo was not good, and his hiding place was rubbish. It was a bush of all places, and he was caught. Now, when Leo was placed in handcuffs, he was searched. Police immediately noticed that there was no mobile phone on his persons, so police asked him where the phone was. To that, Leo replied with silence. So another police officer retraced the steps and then recovered his phone in a matter of minutes. The phone screen had been cracked, as if somebody tried to break it before being arrested. When forensics checked the phone over, it revealed that during the crime spree, Leo Joe had made a number of searches relating to false registration car plates. Now, Leo Joe was a criminal through and through. He was an opportunist and he sought to make money by stealing cars. He was also young, so he had no fear and was a go-getter. In court, the crimes of Leo Joe was read out, and personal impact statements were also read out too. Now, one of the victims was an elderly disabled woman. The court heard that the elderly woman struggled with her mobility due to having a stroke previously, so much so that she slept downstairs because her movement was very limited. When the victim found out that her car had been taken, it weighed heavily on her, as she needed it to get from A to B, to help her with light duties also, so without a car she was effectively kept indoors. Now, when the police traced all of the victims concerning Leo Joe's and his gang's crime, it came to light that the victim later died due to having a second stroke. Now, a family member, who was her son, told the court that they wondered if her death was caused by the stress of what happened, i.e. her car being taken. Leo Joe, who's from the Radley in Sheldon, had previously held his hands up and admitted to 8 burglaries, 2 charges of attempted burglary, as well as taking cars without consent, driving while disqualified, and of course having dr. His vices being Class B, aka weed. Leo Joe was told to prepare for a jail sentence, and in the end the judge jailed Leo to 5.5 years, which part of it will be served in the YO Institute, so he wouldn't really have that much to worry about because he would be one of the oldest there. Now, when passing sentence, the judge says you will also be banned from driving for 45 months. Leo Joe stayed silent when his sentence was read out. The judge also commented on Joe's actions and lack of compassion, saying, "You targeted houses, those burglaries were skillfully performed, in that on every single occasion the household were asleep, but in the middle of the night they did not hear a thing. You and your accomplices were able to force your way into their homes, their sanctuary, their safe place, walk through the house, find the keys and take their cars. A lot of the cars were of high value, some were of a lesser value. It's very clear you are very organised and you obviously had the resources to dispose of them for profit." One of the victims was also a very sick woman who later died. Despite Leo Joe being 19 years old at the time, he made a cluster of mistakes that helped police build their case. For example, Leo had taken photos of the stolen cars, including the Jaguar F-Pace and Skoda Fabia. Leo even recorded himself in the early hours of the morning walking through the quiet residential streets when he was on his way to take cars. It was also said that Leo Joe's actions had wreaked havoc on homes across Birmingham and further afield. Now, Joe's solicitor tried to downplay Leo Joe's involvement in the gang, saying that despite Joe playing an active role in the theft of cars, he was not the organiser, and rather than scouting high-value vehicles, this was a gang that operated on taking cars that were just more obtainable. It was not a case of taking cars to order or having the backing of a serious organised crime gang behind them. So 5.5 years for taking at least a dozen cars and entering the homes of their victims. The question is the sentence a deterrent which will make Leo Joe think about his actions in the future, or is the fact that Leo will probably be out in 3 years max mean that he's likely to reoffend again? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Stay safe.